To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled, amazing episode, your favorite hour of the week, Main Gate Magic. My name is Jason Braden, in case you guys are, been living in a hole and don't watch the show at all. And with me, as always, are my wonderful co-hosts, Miss Leia and Mr. Thomas. How you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic. How are you, Jason?
Doing well, thank you very much. Thomas, I love the location. I know we talked Star Wars a while back ago, and that is perfect. And, we got like one other person that just kind of is hanging out there in the corner with his little button on, which I'm sure he's going to tell us what it's all about to no end. Ladies and gentlemen, a man that needs no introduction, the Dark Lord of the Sith, Mr. C. Andrew Nelson, a.k.a. Darth Vader.
Yay!
Greetings.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. I'm really happy about this episode. I mean, it's not May the 4th yet, but I'm talking about...
Okay.
I mean, aside from the last week episode, which in case you guys missed was just the things about Disney that makes us happy, well, this is one of them. And it's hard to deny that Star Wars, it's got a special place in a lot of our lives, especially everybody on the screen here, and hopefully for those who are watching too. Yeah, love it, absolutely love it. So, what is that little button on your lapel there? What does that say?
This is because we're going to be talking about Star Wars, and we're going to be talking about old school Star Wars. I think we're going to focus on that. I decided to bring the 70s back here to the 2025. So this is an original. May the 4th be with you. No, may the Force be with you. But these buttons were actually given out at theaters back in 1977.
Oh, that's cool.
I've had this. I didn't get it at the theater, but I've had this since 1977. So,
good Lord,
That's
Yeah.
that is an old
amazing.
button. It's almost as old as that jacket I think you're wearing, huh?
it is. Excuse me. There's some moths coming off of it here. But yeah, I decided to dress kind of 70s too. This is about as 70s as I get as far as my current wardrobe. So.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and say hello to... by the way, happy Earth Day, everybody. I didn't realize it was Earth Day
Yes.
until like about an hour ago that Lisa told me, hey, it's Earth Day. And
I thought it was Happy Tatooine Day. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
happy
We're doing
Mustafar
Earth Day when we're doing a galaxy far, far away. It's kind of
Yes.
ironic.
We're getting as far away from Earth as we possibly can on Earth Day.
Right.
Yeah, on Earth
Where if there's a bright center of the universe, you're on the planet that is farthest from. Yeah.
Endor.
Alrighty, so before we get to the show, let's go ahead and say hello to some of our fan favorites in the audience. We have Patricia in the house.
Woo.
She says, hey, everyone. How you doing, Patricia? It's
Patricia.
good to see
Hi,
you.
Patricia.
And our favorite autograph guy in the world is joining us today. Mr. Shamim is in the house, too.
Shamim,
Of
all
course,
right.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
Main Gate Magic, but he's saying, hey, Andrew.
We've
And
been
hi to
friends for a
Jason
long
Braden.
time.
No,
that's why.
he's saying hi to me as well. So yeah, I think it's great. Oh, and of course, it wouldn't be a show with Shamim on if he didn't have a few questions for Andrew. Go ahead and line them up, Shamim. We've got some trivia questions later for Star Wars as well, and we will hopefully, if we get enough people, maybe we can do sort of like an audience poll to see who can get it.
Yeah.
But right now, it's kind of looking small, so it might just be sort of like a co-host participation,
Okay.
and maybe even possibly see if we can't stump the Dark Lord.
Uh,
Yeah, I know. Dun, dun, dun. we did this when we had you on the last time, and
Yes.
I ramped up some trivia questions, and some of them were actually pretty hard.
I don't remember doing particularly well. So
especially on the Yoda stuff, if I recall
Yes.
correctly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
he's
Lisa,
light
Lisa
side,
helped
I'm
me.
dark side. I don't keep track of that stuff. So.
Side, dark side. Lisa helped me write these ones out, so this time
Good.
it's they're a little bit more, I don't want to say dumbed down, but they're dumbed down.
No. They're not gonna-
No, they're
more
they're a little
reasonable.
bit more.
They're more
Yeah,
reasonable.
we've notched it down just a little bit. So
Yeah.
anyway, I want you to go ahead and for those who do not know you and who have never been seen the prior episodes where you're introduced or where
Sure.
you put your spiel on, or if they've never met you at a convention, tell us who you are.
Well, I'm C. Andrew Nelson. I'm an actor, a visual effects artist, an animator, voiceover performer, director, producer, and genuine Dark Lord of the Sith. I actually spent 12 years playing the character of Darth Vader for Lucasfilm and the Lucas companies.
Wow.
Film, television, games, commercials, print, everywhere the character was needed. So it ended up being 70 times over 12 years. Like I said, I'm also a visual effects artist and animator. I worked at LucasArts first as a visual effects artist, designing and creating lots of Star Wars games and other games too. Then moved over to Industrial Light and Magic, worked on the visual effects for the Star Wars prequels and many other films. And like I said, I'm also a voice actor. And I even supplied the voice of Luke Skywalker for a number of LucasArts games. So I am my own father. That
is twisted.
It is twisted. But I've been a Star Wars fan since long before I was in service to the Empire. Since I remember seeing the original film, back when it was just called Star Wars, not Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. It was just Star Wars because George didn't know if he was going to get to make more than one movie. And so I remember standing in line for hours and hours and hours to see the film because it was only 3 weeks since it had opened, but that when I saw it, but it was already the lines were, it was just a phenomenon all around the country, all around the world.
Oh yeah.
And so it was crazy.
So
But,
you said you've over 70 appearances, you said, right?
Yes.
As Darth Vader. Now, I'm only asking this because I hear you say it, and it's one of my favorite things for you to say. How do you know it's 70 times or 70 plus?
Because my lovely wife, Veronica Loud, made me keep count. So
there it is. She's got the little clicker, and she's like, like click, click. Okay, Darth Vader, click, click.
She's been pushing me to write a book, so I need to write a book. So
yeah, you should.
Yes. Happy wife, happy life.
My Trip to the Dark Side by
she's always saying to me, write it down before you forget it.
Right.
Or get hit in the head or something and you won't remember. So.
Well, it's not like you sleep or anything like that.
No, I don't sleep. Sleep is for the weak.
I'll sleep when I'm dead. Yeah. All right. So we got a couple more people joining us in the show today. Another regular of ours, my father, Mr. Odie Braden. Hello, Dad. How's it going? Good to see you.
Braden.
Hi, Odie.
And let's see, we've got Signs of Amusement coming back. This person, I've looked at the channel that you have. Awesome. I think they're part of a group of channels that are Disney related, and I love that.
Nice.
And I have watched a few videos, and it's great. So he says, "Hello, all. Excited to see others doing more trivia. We do it on our channel too. Yeah. So
Great.
buckle up, folks. We're gonna have fun. I've got 4 questions from each of the original trilogy. So 4 questions from episode 4, 4 from 5, and 4 from 6. So yeah. Okay. And I've even got a bonus question at the very end. So
okay.
Hope you guys all like it here.
13 opportunities for me to fail this. Okay.
We will see. Okay, so we have another visitor in the audience. Mr. John Morris is taking a peek into the Star Wars universe.
Hey, John.
We have Toy Story crossing over into Star Wars. How's that for a mix-up?
That's right.
For those who are not aware, Mr. John Morris is the voice of Andy from the Toy Story movies. We've had him on our show before and was a delight. I can't wait to have him on again. He's such a great guy.
It's so weird. It's so weird to have heard his voice growing up, and now he's hearing my voice when I'm growing up. So
right? Yeah, it's cool. And then there's some kid named Gabe that's actually in the audience. I don't know who that could possibly be.
I don't know. Probably from some kind of shady lineage. So.
Maybe, yeah. All he's doing is just putting star and swords and dark father, maybe dark father, black father.
Oh,
I don't
can
know.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably
Yeah.
doing lightsaber fight. Like that's the
Yeah.
closest
Nice.
he can get.
I'm sure that
like,
is.
Hello,
And-
Gabe.
Yeah, that's my son, everybody. That's my youngest son there.
I
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had to, kind of like just
Give him a hard time.
And we have Paul Newitt in the audience. Hello,
Ah,
Paul. Welcome
Paul.
to the show.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Paul.
You know Paul?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Oh, Signs of Amusement knows Paul as well. Says hello, Paul.
Yes. hmm
And let's see, Gabe is he's all about the emojis today. Now it's just like a little guy going like this. I don't know. Gabe is not the
This is going to be
grandson
great
you were
for everybody
looking for.
who's listening. Everybody's just listening to this podcast. All the emojis are going to be perfect, Gabe. So that's
Oh, exactly. It'd be great if they have to. Oh, that'd be a great show. We would do Disney trivia, but you have to answer with emojis.
great.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great. Talent.
Yes.
All right, let's
This
start
week
getting-
we interview mimes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right, Shamim's got question number 1 loaded. I love how he actually does put question 1. There's more in the chamber, folks. Get ready. This is a 6-shooter tonight.
He's going to be like an attorney. This is going to be in court here. Is he going to?
I know, right? Okay, we're going to have to cut you off.
Doodle,
Examination
doodle.
here.
And by the way, for those who do not know, Shamim he's called the Autograph King. He actually has a
Yes.
documentary that's being made about him. And all of the signatures that he has collected throughout his years. And there's a trailer out there on YouTube, I believe, and it looks amazing. Andrew is interviewed in it. I'm in it, but
folks.
I'm
Look for the
behind
trailer.
the camera. Yeah, I'm in it, but I'm behind the camera when he was being interviewed on that particular episode or that particular part of the scene. And it's phenomenal. I mean, you guys would not believe the amount of people this guy meets. And if you get a chance, follow him on social media. He's like everybody's friend. I kid you not.
He's got an incredible life story, and he is.
Yes.
Shamim is everybody's biggest fan and everybody's best friend, and love you to pieces, Shamim.
Amazing.
And that is a quote that is going to be in the documentary, I believe. At least it's in the preview. So yeah, I love that. So Shamim says a question. Oh, and by the way, the Autograph King, I think he's telling me I think it's going to be out later this year. Is what I've been kind of hearing. It's very, very close. So question 1, TV show 90s guest spots. What were some TV show guest spots where you were on as Vader, and what were some memorable stories and shows you've been on?
Okay, let's see. Well, in the
Pick one.
90s, I would say the most memorable one was probably when I was on the Oprah Winfrey Show as Darth Vader.
Oh, yes.
That was an
Wow.
interesting one. Yes. They flew us out to Chicago. They were doing a whole thing to promote the special edition when the original films were re-released with new footage added to them, including footage of me as Vader. And so to promote that, part of the promotion, we went to Chicago to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And so it was Darth Vader, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca, and an Ewok were on the show. In addition to Oprah, Oprah was also interviewing Mark Hamill. He was on the show. Anthony Daniels, who was the original actor, played C-3PO. Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca. And we had George Lucas was there via satellite. And then there was a pre-recorded interview with Billy D. Williams. So it was a very interesting shoot because we really didn't get to rehearse much for it, and they shot that show like it was live, even though it was taped. But so it was just fast-paced, and so all the characters came out, with the exception of Darth Vader. All the characters came out with Oprah at the beginning of the show, and she, is doing the big introduction to the show and everything, and then she goes, "Seems to me there's somebody missing." And then you hear the breathing sound, and Vader's theme comes out, and I come marching out, and I go up to Oprah, and like I said, she didn't rehearse with us. We barely had a rehearsal as it was, and she didn't really even know what to expect, I think. And so she says, "So, Lord Vader, what do you think about all of this?" And I'm right up in her face, and I'm right like this, and I'm pointing, and they had taken that line from the films where Vader says, "The Force is with you, young Skywalker, but you're not a Jedi yet," and they changed it. So they took a moment where James Earl Jones had been on her show and said the word Oprah. So I get up to her and they play "The Force is with you, young Oprah," and I swear to you, I saw actual fear in Oprah's eyes. I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think you could scare Oprah, but for a moment she was kind of stunned, and then finally she kind of turned to the camera and she goes, "He said I was young." But then we had to stand there off in the wings for the whole first segment of the show, and it's hot. This is back in the days when we had, hot lights on a set. We didn't have LEDs or anything like that. And so we're standing there, and so it's all the rebel characters to one side, and I'm over here. I'm the one villain, slightly away from them, because they're going to cut back to us every so often. They were going to cut to us just before they went to the commercial break, And so Oprah's doing the whole first interview, which is with, I remember correctly, I think Mark Hamill was the first one that was up, and they're going through the whole interview, and I look over, and because they were interviewing Anthony Daniels on the show, he's not in the 3PO costume. He's there speaking with Oprah. So in the 3PO costume was Grant Imahara, who a lot of people know from Mythbusters, the wonderful late great Grant Imahara, who was just a great guy. But he was a model builder at ILM, and he, before he was on Mythbusters and everything, and so he was in the 3PO costume that day. He did a lot of personal appearances and things like that as 3PO. He started around the same time that I was doing Vader. And I look over at Grant, and I see him kind of wobbling like this. And I'm thinking, oh, no, he's about to faint. Because it's really hot, that costume. The 3PO costume is probably the hottest of them all. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm trying to inch over to him a little bit closer, a little bit more, just so in case I have to, I can catch him. But I can't really see very well in the Vader costume. I can only see what's directly in front of me like that. Yeah. So thankfully, they cut to commercial just before he was getting dizzy. He was about to pass out. We got off camera and they quick pulled the mask off of him, and he was just a mess. But that's my television story from the 90s. So.
And then, of course, afterwards, Oprah started handing out lightsabers to everybody in the audience.
Yes, and you get a lightsaber, and you get a lightsaber, and you get a lightsaber. Everybody look under your seats. Everybody gets lightsabers.
Leia, before you ask your question, hold on a second. I want to share with everybody the reason why Darth Vader breathes the way that he does, and this is the reason why. So, this episode of Main Gate Magic brought to you by Spaceballs.
Yes. I can't breathe in this thing.
That's the real reason, folks.
The honest truth, it's not that far from reality. Right. It's very hot inside the costume.
I know.
And you get fogged over. You can't see where you're going. Depending on how much foam and mesh and everything that is in that particular mask that you're wearing, it cuts down how well you can breathe. So yeah.
Good times. Leia, what's your question?
Great times. Yeah.
Oh, no, not a question. I was just going to tell Andrew, I think you need to put on your resume, I scared Oprah.
Yes.
It's just a very good conversation.
I think I need a T-shirt that says I scared Oprah.
Yeah.
I'll make one for you. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of way I can mash that up with a Darth Vader and an Oprah symbol or whatever. Yeah,
okay, going,
that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. John is asking, when did Andrew first put on Darth Vader's suit, and what was his first impression / feeling / emotion? Holy cow. That's a loaded question. And
it is
short, Andrew, because we only have an hour show.
I know. Okay. I'll make it quick here. It was in 1994. I was asked to play Vader for a special charity event for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America at the Marin County Fair in Marin County, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so it was a special thing that was, the night before the fair opened, they brought the kids in so they could have a photo op with Vader and 2 stormtroopers. And so I went up to Skywalker Ranch, and I got I tried on the original costume. It said D. Prowse on the inside for Dave Prowse. And so I put on the costume, it fit, but it's very disorienting. The first time you put it on, it's like, it's very heavy. It's 17 pieces if you include the lightsaber hanging on the belt. You put it on very, very slowly, but it's like you start feeling the weight going on. It's very bulky because it's leather and wool and fiberglass and it's very heavy. And I remember and I normally wear glasses. I have them off right now because I'm a vain actor and I don't want to have them on. But I can't wear them under the mask. Even if I could fit them under there, because there's no room for them. Even if I could fit them under there, they'd just fog over anyway. I wouldn't be able to see. So, but it's just disorienting because the lenses of the mask kind of distort your vision a bit. So when I first tried it on, I thought, oh my gosh, can I actually do this? I don't know if I can stand up straight. It was just very disorienting. Then I got used to it. But yeah, so that was the very first time, and I thought it was a once in a lifetime opportunity that was never going to happen again. But I just thank God I had a chance to do it, and they kept calling me back.
They love to. Yeah.
We have another special person joining us in the audience today. Somebody that we've also had on our show before. If I can find out where her comment is. Holy cow! What did I do with it? There it is. Margot's in the audience.
Hey,
hi guys. Hey Margot, it's good to
Margot.
see you.
Margot.
Good to see you. Hey, Margot.
Played a Ewok in Return of the Jedi,
Yes.
along with Kevin Thompson, who we've also had on this show. We've actually had 2 Ewoks on this show.
Right.
That's how many people can say that about their show? I've had 2 Ewoks, Darth Vader. How many other Star Wars people have we had on there? I got more. I got more in the chamber. More coming.
Yep, that's right.
We had David on recently. You know,
That's
he played Akrev from Return of the Jedi, and
That's right.
let's see. We got more. We got more coming. I know
Yep,
we've got a
more
few
coming.
more that are coming.
Yes.
All right.
Margot's my good buddy. We're thick as thieves.
Yeah, she's great too. I want to show the picture that I took with her at the last convention where she's pulling on my. It's actually this one right here. I had this lanyard around my neck, and we're doing like a selfie, right? And she was joking with me, and she starts pulling on this, and I'm like, no, go ahead and pull, and let's do this. And I got a selfie of me going like like this with her joking me. Yeah, I know. It was hilarious. It's definitely one for the scrapbook. So all right, let's kind of do a roundtable discussion here. So I think we've talked about this before, Thomas. Of episodes 4, 5, and 6, tell me which one of them is your favorite and why.
I think I like 6 a lot. Well, I'm torn between 5 and 6. I feel like 5 has a lot of interesting twists, and 6 just because I'm a big shipper of Han and Leia, and I like when they get together in the end. And I just like 6 a lot. It feels really like a good feel-good Star Wars movie to me.
That was like the love story connection where they finally he's like, oh, I don't have competition anymore, so Leia's mine now.
Yeah, basically yes.
Cool. Now there's some great scenes in there, and that's definitely where they like seriously fall in love for real, I think, in that movie.
Yeah.
What about you, Leia?
Yeah, for me, hands down, Return of the Jedi, episode 6. I would say because to me, like growing up with it, it had such exaggerated chapters that were so fun, like Jabba's palace. It had Endor. It had, I don't know, just like with the Ewoks. And another reason is I loved the conversation when Luke says, yes, it's you, Leia. You're my sister. And you hear that like ethereal music.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have 2 more parts. When the father says, I have to save you. And he's like, you already have. And it's like that part where it's like Darth Vader's actually good. And then the remake at the end, I love the song when they're partying in the tree. And it everyone's cheering. You see like them cheering in Naboo and they're like, oh my gosh. And it's like a universe-wide celebration that there's peace.
So let me ask this of the both of you, since Thomas and Leia, you guys are both from like a different generation I'm actually a different generation than Andrew as well, but still kind of like up there. I've seen the OG.
That's a subtle way of saying I'm the old guy in the room.
You're the old guy in the room. Absolutely. I'm your friend. I can say that.
You Jawas, get out of my yard.
Oh, whippersnappers.
So of the movies that you have seen, did you guys grow up with the special edition ones, or did you actually get a chance to see them before they were added with all these scenes and stuff?
Good question. Before, I would say.
I would say before, but then I did see the added scenes, like it was a big thing. Andrew, I'm actually from San Rosa, and it's funny, you and I actually have the same birthday. So
okay,
and I'm also an actor. So, okay, sorry.
There you go.
Say that.
Stalker. No.
No, I remember in the 90s. They came out with the really beautiful VHSs that were gold, and it was like that special edition, and it was so exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
The gold ones were pan and scanned, and the silver ones were widescreen.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Expedition Steve says, this is an exciting episode. Thank you so much, Steve. That's pretty awesome of you to say. I'm actually happy to see that we've more than doubled our audience for this particular show. So
hey, there we go.
I'm very proud of this particular. I did a commercial and everything, so I was really hoping we get some more viewers today. And thank you all for joining, because it's not just about the topics, but you guys actually make the show as well. So thank you so much for coming on. If I don't get a chance to say it later,
absolutely,
I love you all. You're all great. I love you. All right.
Now, do I get to answer that question?
Yeah, well, I already know what your answer is, but I'm going to ask anyway. Okay. So what is your favorite, Andrew? Because it's the same answer as what I would say. From
a cinematic point of view, just from enjoying the film as just a viewer, a watcher, it's Empire Strikes Back. I just love that. 100%. I love the darkness of it. I like the fact that it's what my screenwriting teacher used to refer to as the mess in the middle, where you don't know, whether your heroes are going to, be successful or not in this quest. I just everything about it. It's for me. It's where Star Wars went from being Star Wars to being Star Wars. It was when it became the whole mythology of the Jedi and the Sith. Having said that, I think the one that is the one that kind of tugs at my heartstrings sentimentally is the original Star Wars. Episode 4. I got my Star Wars 45 right here.
Oh my Lord!
Wow!
Got my Star Wars 8-track.
Oh my God!
Got my Star Wars novelization hardcover.
Wow!
Signed by Dave Prowse.
Oh,
Andrew, that's so special.
That I met him back in '78. I'm going to
give you the Indiana Jones for that book. That belongs in a museum. Not on your desk. At least put it in like a shadow box or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Did any of you guys ever hear this? I thought this was so interesting. So I guess when Star Wars came out, a lot of movies like that were coming out at that time that were very B movies, not very good. And I guess Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan, he actually, when he was doing it, he thought it was going to be a B movie. He's like, oh, this is a ridiculous story and this isn't going to be anything. Yeah. And then he was so honored and excited when it actually was huge. Yeah.
Nobody thought it was going to be a hit.
Yeah. Everybody
except for Steven Spielberg, who made a bet with George Lucas. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he won the bet. And to this day, he still gets a tiny percentage of the profits of Star Wars because of that bet. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, I want to echo what you said about the favorite, because Empire Strikes Back, hands down, the best Star Wars movie ever made. I don't even want to say between episodes 4, 5, and 6, which I know is the topic of this particular show, but it is the best Star Wars movie ever made, and they've not really come close to that ever since. John Williams outdid himself with his soundtrack. I mean, my favorite audio from the entire movie, I get chills just thinking about it playing in my head, is the chase scene in the asteroids, when it's it's amazing. And not only that, but it also kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie, which is fast paced. It's like it puts you on a roller coaster from the very first scene. Yes. And it's nonstop. And like you said, at the very end, you don't know. You're like, oh my God, they leave you wanting so much more after that. Whereas at the end of episode 4, it's like, okay, so the Empire is destroyed, but Darth Vader gets away. So now what?
Right.
It's just like, okay, that one little thing. But now it's like, okay, well, Darth Vader's, he's alive still. The Empire's still up, and Han Solo's frozen in carbonite and been taken away. We have no idea what his fate is.
Yeah.
Luke
Luke lost
has
his
this
hand.
huge discovery. He loses
Mhm.
his hand. Right? Yeah. There's like so many things, and
Well,
it
and
is
it's
such
because
a great
when
cliffhanger movie.
right when George made the first film, like I said, he didn't know whether he was going to get to make more than one movie. So that's what he started with, what he thought was going to be the easiest one to make, but he had to make it a complete story. Leave it open, as much as he could for
Yeah.
a sequel. But he had always wanted to do something episodic. Before he made Star Wars, he was trying to get the rights to Flash Gordon, and couldn't,
wow.
or Buck Rogers, and he couldn't get it. So he made his own, and
That's amazing.
so when it became a huge success, and I don't think people today even understand just how phenomenal a success it was. But when it became such a success, and he knew that he was going to be able to make more, then he could go back to making it how he wanted to make it, which was a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of Empire Strikes Back. But I also think that
Buck Rogers shows were like that, though, right? I mean,
Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon
and stuff,
and all of those serials that those movie serials, those two reelers that George grew up on, they were very much cliffhangers. And sometimes they would actually shoot alternate versions of the cliffhanger. So you would see one version of the cliffhanger, in that episode, and then you come back to the theater, a couple weeks later or whatever, and you see the next one, and they're showing you an alternate version where it's like, oh, now I can see how he can get out of this situation. So
right.
They kind of cheated. But
now, with the
go
Buck
ahead.
Rogers thing, I'm sorry, but would that kind of explain? Didn't Luke Skywalker have a different name before the movie was actually made? Like,
early on he was Luke
Starkiller.
He was
Star
Luke
Killer,
Starkiller,
which definitely sounds more Buck Rogers-y than the universe that was being created for where Luke lived. And I'm so glad that they did, because Starkiller, that wouldn't have worked with anything else in the movie. But
I do feel like, I mean, I'm not as well versed in knowing what was the norm back then, but I feel like George Lucas, especially with Empire Strikes Back, I almost feel like George Lucas was a big pioneer of movies being cliffhangers, sequel movies being cliffhangers.
Oh yeah,
and just growing up with that as a '90s kid, it's kind of cool to see where it is now, where movies are today, and George definitely had a big part in playing that role of making movies with big cliffhangers.
Except for Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. Except for
Indiana Jones, everyone that ended, it could be just an ending for every single one of those movies, and you would have been fine with if there was nothing else.
Yeah,
there was no cliffhangers for those.
Yeah,
I
agree.
just meant more so with Empire Strikes Back. For
sure.
I also have to say, I want to give credit where credit's due. A lot of the success of Empire Strikes Back is due to director Irvin Kershner, who just a lot of the stuff, and also to screenwriter Lawrence Kasdan. I think those two together are what made that film so good.
Really good team.
Yeah, really good team. And Irvin Kershner, it's interesting because he ended up directing a lot of different sequels over the years. He also directed Return of a Man Called Horse and some other sequels as well. So that was partly why he was chosen for the project, because he knew he could George knew that he could handle a sequel and make it original, something that could stand on its own. And that was why he was brought in. But a lot of the ideas that came about in the film came from Kirsch. So yeah.
And there he is, Mr. Kirsch.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Passed away in 2010, according to IMDb. But definitely left a mark in the world for sure.
Forever.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Salute.
All right. Well, we're a little more than halfway in. Let me just make one more put one more comment up on the screen. Paul says that in 1982, I got to visit Jabba's sand barge set in the desert near Yuma. Talk to Mark Hamill, best guy ever. That is an amazing story. I'd love to hear that.
You should actually have Paul on your show.
Should I?
We'll talk. Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Paul, if you're listening still and you would like to be on the show, then you've already got a fantastic person vouching for you, so you're already in. Absolutely. See, I know, and when I know that the also, if you wanted to go visit other places where Star Wars was filmed, I know in Tunisia, I think is where they filmed a lot of the scenes from Tatooine in Episode 4.
Yeah.
the place where Luke lived in that little sort of burrow
Yes.
in the ground
Yes.
is like an actual hotel that you can stay
Yes,
at.
the large it was, and it
Oh,
was a
that's
hotel to begin
amazing.
with. Yeah.
Right. So if anybody actually wants to go out there and actually stay where it was filmed in that one spot, it's still out there and it's still available. All right.
Oh.
Let's see. I agree. Empire is my favorite too. Seeing the Falcon launch out of Hoth. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna get completely nerdy on that scene too. Right before the Falcon blasts out of the ice cave
Mhm.
and escapes with all the other rebels, there is a scene where like Han says, like, don't worry, this she's still got a few surprises in her, right? And
Mhm.
you see like a little panel like pull away, and then from the
Right.
back of the Millennium Falcon is a little laser that like
Yeah.
lowers, turns, and starts shooting at the stormtroopers that are
Yeah.
attacking the ship. That to me was like, you hear the noise. It wasn't just the fact that it's got all these little gadgets and gizmos that
Mhm.
surprise everybody.
Yeah.
But it's also that, and then, again, this is nerdy, but I remember this specifically. It's like one of the moments that makes me happy and puts a smile on my face. You hear it start shooting laser blasts, then it cuts back into the scene inside the cockpit, and the sound of that same laser changes because now you're inside versus
Mhm.
outside.
Oh, I love details
Magic.
like that.
That's the magic of Ben Burt, who
Magic.
who is just an amazing guy, super nice guy too. But Ben, just all that the sound design that he did, and George gave him a mandate. He didn't want anything to sound electronic. He wanted it to all sound very organic, very machinery type things, and that's what he did. So
that's a great job. And Paul says, "Oh no, LOL, sure about being on the show." We'll put the spotlight on you, Paul. Nothing's taboo, but
I
everything's
have a
family-based
personal
here.
fun story with Empire Strikes Back. So
okay.
when I was a teenager, I was really sick one evening, and I was laying in bed, and I heard my name being called, and I heard Leia, and I was like, "What?" And I was kind of delirious, and then I heard Leia, and I'm like, "Gosh, what?"
Hear me.
And it was Luke in Cloud City calling for Leia. It's one of my brothers, and he's like, "It's
Wow.
the movie," and I'm like, "Oh."
I love it.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Wow.
I mean, I've been there before where I'm listening to, like, I take a nap on the couch, or, I fall asleep watching something on TV, and, something will translate into my dream, but never before when somebody said my name. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
They say your name, they might be watching like a horror movie. So
Yeah, like it's
Jason,
probably
yeah.
going back to Friday the 13th. Yeah, exactly. Shamim says, I need to be on this show one day. And you know what, Shamim, I know you've asked a couple of times before. I think we should. I think it should be like just a special edition of Main Gate Magic.
Mhm.
And you can just talk about all your different stories and maybe even share some of your most memorable autographs. I think that'd be a great
he can
idea.
talk about Disney autograph collecting.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because this show is about magic, and you've certainly like got a lot of great stories that I'm sure we can probably put a lot of smiles on people's faces from. So yeah, we will talk about that. We'll get that in the works, and we'll make it happen, buddy. Sounds like a great idea. Alrighty, now we're 40 minutes in. God, 10 minutes goes by quicker than I thought, and 40
Okay.
minutes goes by even quicker. I don't know how that works.
We'll talk
But
faster.
anyway, I think it's time for a little bit of trivia. What do you say,
course.
Goofy?
You learn
Go
something
ahead.
new every day.
You absolutely learn something new every day. And today, we are going to learn more about Star Wars. So put on your Jedi tunics, people, and if you got your lightsabers, get them out and
Woo!
turn them on. Come on, I know it works somewhere here. Come on. Of course,
I got
it's
the
not
brain.
working. Oh, it powered down. That's why. So ready? Here we go. Let's do the dramatic. Okay. Look away and pretend you didn't see me trying to futz with this thing. How's that?
Ooh,
Ah.
Ah,
Hey,
ah.
that is amazing.
It slices bread too, and toasts it while you
Mother and I didn't
If
get
you're
that
on
for you just so you
podcast,
could
you have
burn
to
your
watch
fingers.
this part of the video.
stare long enough. You'll go blind. No, just kidding. All right, let me see if I can turn it off now.
That's how we light up. the
$600 lightsaber, folks, and I can't even figure out how to turn it off.
Just throw it against the wall.
Oh my god.
Now it's green.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's very distracting. Okay, so trivia time. Yeah, I almost lost track of where I was.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go to our first question, and I think I've got 4 questions for every episode, and we are going to start with episode 4. Some of them I think are, me personally, I think they're all easy, but it's because I feel like I know Star Wars back and forth, especially these episodes. But the very first one we're going to talk about here, and we'll let the audience answer first if they can comment fast enough. Who was the first character to speak in episode 4? Now, if you're looking on the screen, it's got a little Roman numeral symbol next to it, and that's the episode number that we're talking about. So episode 4, who was the first character to speak? Who was the first person that had dialogue in the movie?
I know.
You know?
I know.
Andrew knows.
I know.
Thomas, do you know?
I don't, but I'm
No? Okay.
my mind bank, memory palace.
We can look it up really
Memory
quick.
palace.
All right, Patricia was quick on the gun there. It says C3PO. That is 100% correct, Patricia. You
We've
got
shut
it.
down the main
Patricia.
reactor. We just going too
Yeah.
sure. It just matters. We're doomed.
We're doomed. I mean, it says this time.
Mhm.
Yeah, this. Okay, by show of hands, how many actually know all, like, anywhere between 80 to 90% of the dialogue from the movie? No? Okay.
No, give me a Disney movie. Yes.
No.
I do love the movies, just I didn't. Yeah.
I could recite the whole film right now if we
Yeah.
had 2 hours.
There's a few of them that I would get hung up on, but I feel like if I had somebody like, like this guy right here, I could probably, we could probably do the entire movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah. You do all the female characters and I do all the male
Thanks.
characters.
Thanks.
Alrighty. Shamim says Luke. No, sorry, Shamim. There was a C3PO. Luke actually doesn't come in until the scene in Tatooine after the
That's
droids
right.
land on the planet Tatooine. So,
Mhm.
alrighty. Next question in the gun here. What do we got here? It's number 2 is episode 4 again. What hairy mammal with spiraled horns inhabits the planet Tatooine?
Kata. Okay.
And these things are about as big as elephants, folks. And I'm gonna, if you
Gee.
don't quite know what these, let's address the elephant in the room and answer the question about what hairy mammal with spiraled horns inhabit the planet Tatooine. Anybody?
You can answer this because you're no Dumbo.
Shamim's got it. It's a bantha.
Yes.
Oh,
Way to go, Shamim. That's
Way to
awesome.
go.
Great answer. Yep.
Mhm.
And we actually knew a trainer of the banthas. Well,
Yes.
technically the
Mhm.
elephants that were underneath
Yeah.
all of those hairy costumes for the banthas, but who
Yep.
unfortunately passed away. Was it last year or was it this year?
But it was a little over a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan
Wonderful.
Fernandez.
Yeah.
Fernandez. He was the last of the original Tusken Raiders.
Yep.
oh.
And
Yeah,
I remember
you saw
I
him
wanted
riding
to
on
get
the
him
gun.
on the show too, because I think
Yeah.
like, what a great job that must have been, because I mean, he was a Tusken Raider, but he was also the person who actually kept the animals like, doing what they needed to do for the movie.
Right.
And
Wow.
and it's actually interesting because, and then I'll give like a little bit of trivia here, because Andrew, back me up because it's been a while, but he used to be an elephant trainer over at Marine World too.
Yeah.
here in the
Marine
Bay
World,
Area,
Africa,
right?
USA. Yeah. Mhm.
When it was in Redwood City, I think, or
Yes.
like in that area.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. It might have been San Carlos or something like
No,
that.
it was
But yeah,
Redwood City. Yeah.
Redwood City, yeah. So that's where he was doing all of his elephant training stuff before and I think that's how he got his role, right? I mean, he was
Right.
approached.
He and one other guy were brought out there to keep the elephant, and elephant's name was Margie, to keep her calm. So even though you see lots of banthas in the film, there was only one elephant that was used and one costume. So because Alan had such a good relationship with the elephant, George decided to put him in a Tusken Raider costume and have him
Wow.
get on the
I love
elephant
that.
there. Yeah,
Talk about a outfit that's got to be hot as hell. I mean, you think Darth
It was a
Vader
hot
thought, wait till you go
costume, according
outside
to
the
Alan.
desert. Yeah.
yeah, but he also tripped and fell and broke the bridge of his nose.
Oh,
with
no.
the costume too, because you couldn't see
Oh.
where you were going at all.
Oh, I had
Oh.
no idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wish I would have been able to get him on before that time, but
Oh, well.
may he
Yeah.
rest in peace. May he rest
Yeah.
in peace. And by the way, Paul got it right as well. He said Bantha right after Shamim
Yes.
did. So good job, Paul.
Way to go, Paul.
All right. Next question for episode 4. We got 2 more. In what docking bay did Luke and Obi-Wan board the Millennium Falcon?
I know.
Maybe not so easy for most people, but there.
I don't know this one.
No.
No.
Yeah, this one
Actually, Obi-Wan mentions it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that every time
Or-
it's a number.
Han says it, and then Obi-Wan repeats it. Yes,
Exactly. It is a number, and every time that I see this number, of course, my first thing to think about is the docking bay.
Me too. Yeah.
Let's see. Paul says 327, same as Chevy engine size. No.
No.
Sorry, Paul, that is not the correct answer. I mean, that might be like what's inside the Millennium Falcon that powers it, but I have no idea.
And it's not 1138 either.
No, it is definitely not. That's the license plate. THX1. Let's see. Paul says 327. Oh no, that's the same one I put up there. Also, landing pad 327 on Bespin. Now that might be true. I don't know that though. Okay, got it. Hello, Rose. Welcome back to the show. Rose says 27. Nope, sorry,
Nope.
that's correct.
That is my favorite number, Rose. Thank you.
It is okay.
Yeah.
Signs of Amusement says
There's your point,
Andrew,
Mr.
same
India.
here. 27 and 47.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
And Expedition Steve, we got a winner. It is
Yay.
Docking Bay 94. Way to
94.
go,
There you
Steve.
go.
Okay. Last question for episode 4. What? We're back to creatures again. I feel like I keep going back to creatures. But what? This one's a little bit more difficult because it's only said in like one little line, and it's almost kind of like murmured or even whispered at the end of the movie. What creatures did Luke used to bullseye in his 2016 back home?
Oh, Jason, it's a little hard to hear you right now.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's better.
What
Oh,
happened?
no.
I don't know.
Oh, it was muffled.
Did I move away from the microphone? Maybe.
I don't know, but
Oh, I don't know, but now it's
now.
perfect.
You're okay now.
Okay.
No, you're fine now.
Okay.
So
So,
spacing out.
Andrew, do you know the answer to this?
Run the
one,
question
too?
again. Run the question again so people can hear
It's
it.
still on the screen.
Okay.
What creatures did Luke use to bullseye in his T-16 back home?
I know.
Okay, let's see. Paul gets it right again here. This one is Womp Rats. That is correct.
Right.
Paul, way to go.
Oh,
Greg, hello, Greg. Welcome to the show. Greg Harms said Swamp Rats. That's very close.
Hey, Greg.
I was going to say, is that our Greg? No, that's not our Greg. No, that's
not our Greg.
That's Adventurous Ideas Greg.
But I do know Greg. Hi, Greg.
Expedition Steve said what Paul said, LOL. And
That's
Rose
cheating.
says Womp Rats as well. That is correct. So Womp Rats is the answer. And the reason that Luke says that is because they're not much bigger than 3 meters. Because that was the size of the exhaust shaft that they had to put the proton torpedo into to blow up the Death Star.
Yes.
Dun, dun,
oh.
dun. Alrighty, let's see. Signs of Amusement says Steve cheats. Wow, calling him out. We had the same question on ours. Oh, okay. We're having a May the 4th trivia at Downtown Disney.
Okay.
Oh, I would love to be a part of that. When is that happening? You have to let me know because I'm actually going there first week of May. I'm going to be there on the 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe. So if you guys are going to be there, I would love to be a part of that. I don't cheat, by the way. Let's see. What do we got here? Shamim says, Andrew, what is your favorite Darth Vader appearance? Oh, Shamim, you're killing me, buddy. We got like we're 10 minutes before the hour.
I can't pick one. I can't pick
I know.
one.
It's
there's
like
too many.
And why can't you pick one?
Because that's like asking me which one of my children is my favorite.
That's right. Unfair question. Steve says, LOL, whatever. I heard Obi-Wan in my head. He says it's going to be May the 4th at 6 p.m. I will have to take a look at that because I think that's the night that I actually get into Anaheim.
Yes.
Let's connect because I think that would be a lot of fun to go to. You have to let me know where that's at. He says, please join us. Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, back to the questions. We still got a few to go. We're on to Empire Strikes Back now. In episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, what ice planet does the first battle take place on?
I know.
I know. We talked about this earlier. It's a pretty easy one, I think. Most people know. But do they actually say... They do actually say the name of the planet. Because, see, that's the thing about writing trivia questions for these things. Every once in a while, we came across one. It's like, oh, let's talk about this particular character or this particular planet or this system. They didn't mention it in the movie.
Right.
But there was a Kenner toy for it. Or there was a series made after the fact about it.
Yeah. Like the term Tusken
like
Raider.
a comic book.
Yeah, like the term Tusken Raiders was never used in the original film.
No,
They were always
sand
referred to
people.
as sand people. Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Oh, we've got
It wasn't
answers.
until they actually had to make Kenner toy action figures. That's right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's where we learned all the names. I mean, that's how we
Yeah.
knew Salacious
Yeah.
Crumb from the Return of the Jedi. That's how we knew his name.
Come on, somebody's
we
got to get
four-
this question.
Oh, we got 4 people that got it right. Greg
Oh,
says
good.
Hoth. Patricia says Hoth. Shamim says Hoth.
Boy, it's Huff in
and
here.
Steve says Hoth as well. You all get a Wookiee cookie. Congratulations. Yeah, that was an easy one. All right. Let's see. The big Paul says the big IG-88 toy was the most valuable in the 1980s. That is interesting.
That's true.
And that was IG-88, I believe, was one of the bounty hunters from Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Standing next to Bosk, who was also another character that we didn't know his name, but he was there standing with all the other bounty hunters.
Yeah, and his costume was recycled from
that?
Doctor Who. So
shut up, really?
Yep.
Oh my God, that's
the mask,
hilarious.
but the rest of the spacesuit. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yes.
All right. Next Empire Strikes Back. We're still on episode 5, folks. What is the name of the floating city above Bespin? Another easy one. Anyone? Moment of silence.
Now we upload our files to it.
Leia, Thomas, I know Andrew knows this one. This is easy.
I actually, to give anybody a clue, if you heard my teenage story when Luke is saying Leia, that's
that's
said
right.
the name of
That's
the
right.
city.
That's right.
You actually did.
Yep.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
Signs of Amusement got it right. He just said Cloud. It is Cloud City.
Cloud
absolutely.
City, yes.
I asked what city. He says Cloud. That totally works.
Yes.
Yeah. Greg says Cloud City. That is correct. Steve says Cloud City. You are correct. Shameen, Cloud City, and Patricia, Cloud City. Yeah, these are.
We all move on to the next round.
Exactly. All right. Next question, episode 5. What is Han Solo frozen in?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
And I actually made this. I said the name of this earlier in the episode. So if y'all were paying attention,
Yep.
it was said, and I
And
already
for extra points, who actually said the word in the film? Who identified this material?
in what are you talking
In
about?
Empire Strikes Back,
Empire
yeah.
Strikes Back?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
One of the
question.
characters actually mentions it.
We'll say that's a bonus question because we actually got people answering correctly on this one as well. It is Carbonite. Steve gets it right. Paul gets it right. Greg gets it right. And so does Patricia. I think the answer is C-3PO.
Right. Ah, they've encased him in carbonite.
Yes. He should be quite safe.
Yes, right.
If he survived the freezing process, that is.
Yes.
And Greg said Boba Fett, no. But he does take Han Solo away and brings him to Jabba the Hutt. Which
Oh, yeah.
He's no use to me dead.
That's right. Shamim says Lando. We already got that. We don't need to put my Signs of Amusement says Vader. No, actually, but that was one of the first things that I thought was Vader.
No.
So, but yeah, I had to think about it for a second.
Vader doesn't do exposition. So.
Hey, Van's on the show. Hey, Van. He says,
Hey, Van.
Here.
Hi,
I will
Van.
be on his show Kyber Cave this coming Sunday, folks. So you'll just keep an eye on our social media posts. I will put a little link on there for the episode that I'm going to be on. Sarah says, thought I'd drop in and say hi quick. Hope you had a great show, Main Gate Magic. Good to see you again, Sarah. Yes, it's been a great show so far. We're not done yet, though. I know we've got about 5 minutes left before the hour, but I said that this might run a little bit longer because, hey, it's Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
So, give us a little extra time. All right. The last Empire Strikes Back trivia question, episode 5. Darth Vader is often misquoted by saying, Luke, I am your father. But what did he really say?
I know.
Leia knows. Thomas is getting bored.
I think I know it. Yeah,
You think you know it? Okay.
It just came across this, so I'm not going to answer.
Now,
that.
this is like, now I feel like this is a Mandela effect, right? This
It is
like
a Mandela
what
effect.
everybody
Very
says.
much so.
And it has become so popular the way that
Oh,
people
yeah.
have said it, even though it's not true. It's kind of become a truth in itself,
Right.
which I believe is kind of what a Mandela effect is. It's my version of what
Yes.
it is. And yeah,
Kudos
Signs
to
of
Lisa
Amusement.
for coming up with this one. This is good. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, Lisa was all Lisa.
that's good.
Signs of
Awesome,
Amusement
Lisa.
says, no, I am your father. And that is
Yeah.
absolutely
That is
correct.
correct. Yes.
Yep.
Now,
And now we get all the copycats coming. No,
now
I'm
here
not
comes
taking-
the trivia, the real trivia behind that.
Yes.
Here's the line that they actually gave Dave Prowse to say on set.
Sorry.
because nope,
Paul
nobody
says,
knew.
Luke, could you use a hand? Sorry, that was worth the interruption.
Oh, that's
Please
good.
go ahead.
That's
Yeah,
good.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So what
No,
was the...
Nobody knew what the line was until right before they were shooting. So Mark Hamill didn't know what the line was going to be, or he didn't know what it was supposed to be, even though they gave Dave Prowse something else to say.
Yeah.
So only George Lucas, the director Irvin Kershner, the producer Gary Kurtz, the screenwriter Lawrence Kasdan, and Mark Hamill knew at the time, and they told Mark Hamill just before cameras rolled.
Oh, wow.
That the line was, "No, I am your father." What
Oh,
they told Dave Prowse to say was, "Obi-Wan killed your father."
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I believe I've heard this before. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely this one of those things in Star Wars lore. It kind of trickles down every once in a while. Yeah.
Which is interesting because the whole scene would still work the same way, the way it's edited and everything, and his reaction. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
No,
It's
it's not
impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah.
Now I have a question that this might be more of a Star Wars theological debate.
Okay. Yes.
But and Lisa and I were talking about this yesterday too, and we were coming with all the questions and everything. But at the very beginning of episode 4, when the droids get out in the escape pod, and the guys that are in the gunner's seat of the Star Destroyer, they see it as like, oh, there goes another one. Hold your fire. There's no life forms. Must have short-circuited. If they had pulled the trigger, the end.
Yep.
Agreed?
Agreed. Okay. Back in the day, just as a little editing experiment for myself, doing this is back in the day when we were doing tape-to-tape editing, and rather than digital stuff. I thought that same thing to myself, and I thought, what would happen if they did get, if they died? So what I did was I was re-editing Star Wars, and I inserted the shot of the probe droid from Empire Strikes Back crashing on Hoth, and made it look like that was the escape pod. So then I had to edit 3PO and R2 out of the rest of the movie. So,
oh wow!
It was an interesting challenge.
Okay, Expedition Steve says Jason's cheating. I'm the one that helped write these questions. How am I cheating?
He's the host. He can't be cheating.
He's God.
Okay, so Andrew, back this up. Paul's probably right, but the escape pod was made from a KFC chicken bucket. Really, is that true?
Partly, yeah.
Wow.
Partly. I mean,
all this stuff added to it, but yeah.
Of course, yeah. What do they call those little pieces that they add onto everything? I mean, they talk about it in, Nuggets. Shut up. KFC nuggets. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Very funny.
Is it true?
No, there's
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, please.
Is it true? Because I saw something online like a couple days ago that the stormtroopers in episode 4 were paintings. Like it was extras, but also like paintings of stormtroopers.
No, that would have been Return of the Jedi. There's a big matte painting that my friend Harrison Ellenshaw did. This is the scene where Vader gets off of his shuttle and he's coming, or when the Emperor arrives, I think it is, on board the Death Star. There's a whole big bay full of stormtroopers and everything, but it's mostly painted in. Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Matte paintings were the way it was done back in the day, too. Yeah. That was like how they got a lot of their big effects shots. Mm-hmm. And I apparently misunderstood. Expedition Steve says, haha, no, Jason from Signs is the one that's cheating. Apparently his name is Jason as well. So now that makes it a lot easier to remember.
Got it.
And Van says grommets is what it's called.
Grommets,
is that right? Is it, yeah. And all they do is they just take they just take like little pieces from models, like plastic Rebel models or Tamaya models, and they just start speckling it on everywhere just to make it look like kit bashing. Yeah, exactly. I love that about that. All right, so back to the trivia. Wow, we're on episode 6 already. Okay.
All right.
And all right, Thomas and Leia, you better know these ones because this is your favorite movie.
That's right.
Return of the Jedi. In Return of the Jedi, what carnivorous creature slowly digests its victims over 1,000 years?
I know.
Of course you do.
I mean, I know exactly what it looks like, and Boba Fett falls in, and it's like, ooh.
I think Paul answered before I even finished reading the question. I need to read these faster. He said it's the Sarlacc, and that is correct.
Oh, the Sarlacc pit. Yeah.
Props
Yeah.
for even spelling it the right way, Paul.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. And let's see. Van got it right. Greg, we got some great Star Wars trivia answers in the audience tonight.
I think
This is
Oprah
great.
needs to give them a lightsaber.
Yes.
Sabers, yes.
Getting all these
I was
answers
offering
right.
Wookiee cookies earlier, but I'm
Yeah.
fresh out now. I have to
Yeah.
go back to Costco. Okay, let's see. Next episode 6 question is: what do the Ewoks mistake C-3PO for?
Well,
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. I know that.
You like that one?
I think
Yes.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't stumped you yet, Andrew. Not yet.
Nope, not yet.
All these are good ones. All right, let's go back to the comments here. Let's see. Oh, it's the Sarlacc. No, just kidding.
Yes, I was looking for a Sarlacc. Yeah.
Let's see. Signs of Amusement got it right, and Van got it right. Greg got it right. Expedition Steve, yes, he got it right. Shamim got it right. It is. They're saying he's a god, and that's true.
Yeah.
Even Margot got it right.
Yes.
Although 3PO,
I hope so. Margot was there.
deity. Yes, that's right. That's right. And but what is the word that C-3PO uses besides God? Doesn't he say some? Does he say they believe I'm a god? Is that what he says?
They think I'm an Oscar award.
Did they say deity? Like a deity?
I think he says the word deity. That's what comes
Yes.
into my brain as well. Or is that another Mandela effect?
Yeah, I wonder. That's what I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah.
Patricia said.
Your favorite film? You should know.
Patricia said deity.
Deity. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Dad says, "Great show, folks. The new puppy is complaining. I have to take care of her. All right, Dad. No
Aw.
problem.
Aw.
Glad you were able to join for as long as you did. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Daddy.
later. Love you
Bye,
guys.
Odie.
Hi, Odie.
Alrighty, back to episode 6. 2 more, actually, holy cow. No, 2 more questions, and then I have
Okay.
a bonus one at the very end, which may not
All
be as easy. So name the admiral who is famous for his exclamation, "It's a trap!"
I know. this
Oh,
one.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I actually have a good trivia one about that. So,
He's
Now
a
they-
cereal in Family Guy. Cereal commercial.
yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
What is the, you remember what the cereal's called? I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Family Guy goofed on Star Wars. They had a whole
Totally.
series of them.
Mhm.
I wonder it was, let's see. Okay, before we actually say what it is. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, everybody's got this one right too. Shamim says Akbar.
Yes.
Van says Akbar. Signs of Amusement. Jason, I have to start calling him Jason now. Says
Jason.
Akbar. Expedition Steve says Akbar. Greg says Akbar. Patricia says Akbar. Are we getting the theme here, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all smart.
When
we
Congratulations.
all
went-
love Admiral Akbar.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah. Tim Rose, wonderful guy, played Admiral Akbar. When I worked at LucasArts, we used to refer to our lunchroom as Admiral Snack Bar.
I love that.
Yep.
Nice.
Akbar, Akbar.
Paul says I call him Admiral Lobstar. Lobster.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
And
It's
Van says
Zoidberg.
that he is. Yeah. Yeah, but I can't remember how he does the voice, but yeah. Van says he's back in Ahsoka season 2. Oh, that's cool. Admiral Akbar is. That's great to hear. I love
Yes.
Okay.
that. All right. Well, you know what? I didn't think about this, but as a bonus question, since you're all so smart, what species is Admiral Akbar?
I know.
Ooh.
Leia, Thomas, do you guys know?
Is it tuna fish?
Like, what's his
catfish.
race? Is it tuna fish?
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
These are
It
gorgeous
is kind of
Morgan.
like an ichthyosaur sort of name, but yeah, that one's a little bit more tough. And I don't think that a lot of people know this unless they are aware of like other Star Wars stories.
It's only tough if you don't cook it right.
Oh, come on. A little tartar sauce, a little bit
Yeah.
of, a little lemon juice and everything. Van's pretty close. He says calamarian.
Right.
Elmer.
I think that's pretty close. I'm going to have to give you that one, Van.
Okay.
Andrew, go ahead and give the name.
It's the Mon Calamari.
Mon Calamari. That is correct.
Oh,
Yeah. Which is a special every Tuesday at the restaurant. So.
That's right. We get a bottomless pit of Mon Calamari.
Yeah, right.
Alrighty.
I like it.
Last question for episode 6. As Darth Vader is dying, sorry, Andrew. What? Good.
Yes.
What does he ask Luke to tell his sister?
She owes
And
me
Leia,
$5.
Leia, I think you and I touched on this a little bit when we did our Star Wars
did.
episode. Yeah,
Yep.
so I know you know. But anybody in the comments know what Vader said to Luke? As well, I guess I don't know. Technically, is he still Vader at that point because he's back to the
No,
good
he's
side? Is
Anakin
he
by that
Anakin
point.
now?
Yeah,
Right.
he's Anakin
So
at that point.
he's Anakin reborn.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. You were right. That's right. He says to tell your sister.
Beautiful.
She was adopted.
You were right about me. He's adopted. Shut up. Yeah, adopted twins. Right.
Yes, tell your sister she was right. Yes.
Exactly. That is correct. And there's still good in him. As there was still good in him. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
I felt it.
Tell your sister her mother is Natalie Portman in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, folks. Now for the bonus question.
Ooh,
And
here we go. Been
this
waiting for
one's,
this.
Andrew, you'll probably know this one. Everybody else, I hope that they would know this if they
Don't say that.
questions
This will be
about it.
like the one I don't know.
No cheating. Okay, well, if that's true, I get to still show the Stump the Dark Lord sticker again.
Yes, you do.
All right, so for the bonus question, who is the only actor that has appeared in all 9 episodes?
Ooh.
Episodes 1 through 9, there is one actor that has been in
Mhm.
every single one. Which one is it?
I
Andrew's
know.
shaking his head like he knows. Yeah, I figured.
I know them
that.
personally. So,
Yes, I know. All right, audience,
have a
we're going to
guess.
wait for the... Oh, we already got the answers flowing in. Van's got it. Patricia's got it. The answer is Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. He is
That's what I would
in
have guessed. Yeah.
every single one. Yep.
he appears in all but one of them. The one that he didn't actually appear in, you hear his voice, and that's Phantom Menace.
Episode 1, right.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh.
Because that's when he doesn't have any skin on him.
Right.
Yeah,
All righty. Well, we're about 8 minutes after the hour. I think we've killed this pretty well, and I think we've gotten some really good Star Wars knowledge out there, and
Mhm.
we've had a lot of fun with our audience today. So thanks again, everybody. I know I said
Thank you,
it,
everyone.
Fun.
didn't say it before,
And
but
again,
I'm going
big
say
thank
it
you to
again.
Lisa for the questions. That was great.
Thank you,
Absolutely,
Lisa.
yes.
You're
Total
amazing.
props. Behind the scenes work going on at Main Gate Magic, folks.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is. I'm not the only one that does this. It takes a village. It literally does. So, special thanks to Leia and Thomas as usual, and of course
Thank you.
our special guest, Mr. C. Andrew Nelson. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming back, my friend. I always appreciate having you on,
Yeah.
and thanks for being a supporter of the show too, because you're on. I'd
Yeah.
say like at least a good 85% of the time. You're
Whenever I
putting
possibly
something
can,
in
I
there.
am. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
so I
appreciate it
definitely appreciate
so
your
much.
support. Like Bartles and James, I appreciate your
That's
support.
Yes.
And a little sneak preview into next week, folks.
It's going to be a good one.
I can't believe I actually have this person coming on the show, and I know I've been promoting her on all the live episodes. And if you're listening, you'll be watching for a commercial on social media very, very, very soon. I'm going to have it just like I did the Star Wars one. But Adasa, who played Dolores from Encanto, We Don't Talk About Bruno, is going to be live on our show. Van has had her on Kyber Caves. I'm so excited and blessed to be able to have her on our humble little show. I hope it's going to be great. I hope you guys come back to join. It's a fantastic movie. If you have never seen Encanto before,
Yeah.
it is such a great show about family, responsibility, truths and lies, deceptions, but that turn into be like rumors and gossip. And it's crazy how everything sort of comes together at the very end. And she definitely is one of those members that ties it in. And she's a wonderful, wonderful person. If you guys ever get a chance to meet her at a convention, walk up and say hello. You will never forget your interaction. And I hope you won't forget the interaction next Tuesday either. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Van says, you will love her. She is such an inspiration. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I fell in love with her the moment that I said hello, and I'm like, hey, do you want to be on my show? She's like, yeah, here's my number. I'm like, thank you. Not everybody does that.
She's
Yeah,
a sweetheart.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sarah says, ooh, I will definitely be there for that. And let's see. Shameen's got one last question. I'm going to go ahead and answer that. Shameen says, let's see, what is he? There we go. Main Gate Magic, what's your favorite version of the original films? My favorite version. Favorite version of the original
I guess he's
films.
asking, do you like the special edition or do you like the original edit?
Yeah. I mean, actually, I still have to go back with Empire Strikes Back because, oh, there goes my lightsaber just turned off.
Okay.
Because the stuff that they added, I feel like actually did add, like it definitely made it feel more modern than everything else did. The other ones had certain effects in it that I was just like, why did they do that? I mean, like, let's talk about episode 4, like the whole Han shot first thing and him moving his head.
Oh gosh, I could go
the
3 hours on that.
And I have one, and I have one
really
word
don't
for
like
you.
that.
One word for you on that scene: McClunky. Why? Why?
Yes.
I could have a whole conversation about that as well. So that kind of stuff, the whole interaction with Jabba the Hutt. I know that he was in the original. There was a deleted scene where they did a CGI.
Oh, I remember
version of
that
Jabba.
one. Yep.
Hated that. I mean, I don't like to use that word on this show very often, but I have to tell you, it was a poor choice. It was kind
of cringy. Like,
So, but out of all the remakes, Empire Strikes Back, hands down.
Yes.
It is the best one where they added some great I mean, they cleaned up Cloud City. Andrew, you're in that one. You're Darth Vader walking to his shuttle, and I can't remember a lot of the Wampa scene. The Wampa scene.
The Wampa scene with Howie Weed as the Wampa. It was a fantastic job. Yeah.
Where you actually see him chewing on the food. I mean, his body movement is so great, and so I
watched that being shot, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that. All right, let's see. Van says, you will love her to say, making a great show. Patricia says, great show. Have an awesome night. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Patricia.
As always, our number one fan. And okay, so Shamim's asking Andrew too. Let's go ahead and get your answer on that. I think you were agreeing with me, but if you wanted to add anything, please do.
No, I think it's interesting. I mean, I do like the original edit, especially for New Hope. I like the original edit, but I do like the improved effects that were added in the special edition. I like the fact that I got a chance to be in the special edition of everything. But I think Empire Strikes Back benefits the most from being special editionized. And, with one, my big problem though with Empire Strikes Back is I didn't like adding the scream when Luke drops and didn't need that. Didn't need to be there.
Added screams don't really quite seem to work for Star Wars movies, do they?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at
I
all.
mean, like even in episode 3.
No.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
Very rough.
I actually wouldn't even have shown Anakin becoming Vader in episode 3. I would have left it completely ambiguous so that if you watch them in numerical order, you still have that powerful moment, no, I am your father. It's just
Definitely.
Wow.
Hey, Leia and Thomas, because I'm actually going to be out off the show during May the 5th, which is right, of course it's
Revenge of the 5th.
Right.
Yeah.
I know we had talked about doing another Star Wars episode. Were you guys still interested in doing maybe a Star Wars episode, but for episodes 1, 2, and 3, where you guys talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, cool. Andrew, you want to come back for that one too?
Sure. I worked on a lot of those 3. Sure, yeah.
I figured you might be able to lend a few little extra stories on here.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you for that in advance. All right, awesome. Okay, everybody. So a lot of people saying great show. Shamim says great show. Rose says great show. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And even Paul says, good to see Andrew. Best guy ever.
Good to see you, Paul. Oh.
Yeah. Good guy, good friend. Thanks again, Andrew, for being on here, buddy.
My pleasure.
I love you, and I'm so glad
Thank
that you're
you.
a part of this show and a part of my life, and same with you, Leia and Thomas, and everybody watching. I want to kind of end with this almost every episode if I can, because I feel like it makes such great sense. Is that we call the show Main Gate Magic because it's like when you walk into Disneyland and when you see the movies and stuff. But I closed last week's episode with saying, don't wait for those kind of magic moments to happen in your life. Find them in every little thing that you do every single day of your life. And then that will actually make your day better. It'll make your life better. It'll keep you young, folks. So stick with that logic. And I hope that you guys are all doing wonderful and you have an amazing week coming up. Please make sure to tune in next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for Adasa for another wonderful show. And until that time, catch us on all the social media channels. And yes, I'm going to name them all because I always do. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and on the audio programs for Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. I stumbled a little bit there, and podcast networks. Again, my name is Jason Bredin. Thanks to my hosts, Leia and Thomas, and our special guest, Andrew Nelson. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
May the fourth be with you.
May the force be with you all.
Force is strong with you.